Welcome to Baby Dribble, proudly sponsored by SweetDreamers. Baby Dribble is a fun, friendly and free parenting advice channel.
So hello and welcome back to the first Baby Dribble podcast of 2020. And we're starting this year as we mean to go on with a great podcast all about baby slings and baby carriers. And we're joined by our special guest today, Sophie and Rachel. Hello from Southsea Slings. And Southsea Slings is a local business to us at SweetDreamers, whereby you can hire and buy baby slings to see which is the best fit for you and your little ones. So would you mind telling us all about your business, please?
Yeah, so hello. We started Southsea Slings in 2012, so we've been going quite a while now. And as well as hiring and buying slings, you can also seek advice on slings you already have. So you can come along to any of our sessions and we'll help you out with stuff that you've already got, which is quite a good service people like. We're also a social enterprise, so that means that we give reduced hire to those who are on very low income. So we define that as somebody who's on kind of universal credit, the income support element of that. So we're trying to make carrying your sling accessible to everyone.
Oh, amazing. And you meet up in local cafes, is that right?
We do.
Yes.
We
That's
have.
quite nice, isn't it?
Yeah. When we first started, we did have quite a few events that were kind of in separate private rooms, and what's really lovely about being in local cafes is that you're meeting the community and different generations coming together as well, so that's
a bit more relaxed.
And
clinical. Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can imagine me being a bit embarrassed if I walked into a room on my own, but if I was in a cafe, coffee and cake, I'll be
isn't it?
I think sometimes people come and don't announce themselves and then just see what we're about, and then maybe come the following week. And then it will announce that they want our help. I think
it's a nice social opportunity.
Yeah, definitely.
So how many people do you normally have when you do like your little cafe?
Varies dramatically, and it's quite hard to have any prediction as to how. Because we again leave it open and relaxed, so we don't require anyone to kind of book in beforehand unless they want to be seen at a specific time. So we operate on kind of first come, first served. And it could be 2 people, it could be 20. You really don't know.
Gosh. Yeah, you just unpredictable.
So we have got that.
Brace yourself before you go in.
Have that. If you have that kind of I want to go there at 10 o'clock and be seen by 15:15, then you can book an appointment beforehand as well. So suits both ways.
Amazing. Brilliant. So we actually have some questions for you experts. That's what we're going to call you. So the first one is, what's the difference between a sling and a baby carrier, if there is any?
Wasn't his. A sling tends to be a length of fabric, and a baby carrier would be something a bit more structured with buckles and clips and things, looking a little bit more like a rucksacky type thing, a bit more engineered. Whereas a sling will be something a little bit more gentle, fabric-y.
Yeah. They look slightly more relaxed, don't they? Yeah. And I always tend to think of them going across this way for some reason. I don't know if that's right.
I think, we freely interchange like the 2 terms, but definitely what Rachel's saying is like that's the kind of perception of it, because we'll use sling, like obviously we're called Southsea Slings, but we have majority of our carriers are structured and clipped and kind of buckled, so so it's just a historical term. I think a lot of people do think of the kind of ring sling or pouches. Maybe in the 1980s that was probably one of the ones that kind of the image of it stuck out most, but we're talking about like that's Western perception as well of it. So, but we do both, don't we?
Yeah, we don't really differentiate.
And they both achieve the same thing. So there isn't really a difference if they're both used safely. One just has a bit more structure, I suppose.
The only reason we differentiate is because other people do. So
so I don't want to sling then, so that makes sense.
We were like, we just call them all slings. But,
but I see what you mean. Fair enough. And we've got, what are the benefits of sling wearing?
So they are so multitudinal. We could talk to you for hours. We won't, but we could. From things, the main one for us is attachment, and building healthy bonds and trust. Your baby's brain is going to grow the most and develop the most in those first 3 years of life. Your kid could go on to go and do a PhD. They're still not going to take on as much as they're taking on in that first 3 years of their life. And that's not to say that later on you can't change your brain, but do you know what I mean? You're making those neural pathways about trust and response and love and closeness and warmth and all of those quite soft, touchy-feely terms, but they really do have scientific evidence behind them. So for us, the biggest one is just that attachment in a psychological sense, secure attachments between parents and their babies. It's also great for avoiding things like flat head syndrome, or a colic, those witching hours that we will probably know well.
Talked about the
Yes.
Reflux. Really common for people to realise that their baby's digestion is aided by being upright. So if you're having to do lots of frequent little feeds because your baby has reflux, then letting them digest in that upright position but not being stuck on the sofa is really, really beneficial. So many.
Keep going.
Avoiding isolation, just meaning that people can get out more. Massive hits of oxytocin. So that love hormone that even if you're not feeling 100%, maybe you're suffering from kind of postnatal depression or other mood issues, then you can't stop that chemical release of oxytocin when you've got your baby close to you. And even when they're not your baby, when we get like a cuddle, we get that hit of oxytocin. So it's just loads of benefits.
We like it when a baby comes into the office. We don't get any work done. Also, we've got, are there any risks to using slings?
Well, there's risks to using anything. I think as long as safety guidelines, which we'll come to, are followed, then there's not, there's always, you've got to be vigilant and aware. Although we call it a hands-free carry, you've always got to be able to see your baby's airways. But following all the safety guidelines and manufacturers' guidelines and things like that, well, there's barely any risk. It's just using common sense and instinct, really.
I think that's one of the things when I was when I had my little one, and people would be like, "Oh, I don't think they're safe," but no one would give you a reason as to why. And I think that's why it's quite good to come to someone like you who can tell us exactly how low the risk is and what you need to look for.
I think so. And there are carriers that carry some risk, and we will say to people immediately, no, sorry. We can't make that safe. No. So we won't even go there with it. So if people come in with their own carriers, obviously everything that we have is ergonomic and safe. We wouldn't, sell it or hire them out or anything. It would be associated with them if they weren't. And we spend quite a lot of time proving to people how safe they are when they say, it's not safe, I don't want our baby in that, and we do silly things to prove how safe they are. Like star jumps.
Jumping off a jump.
We wouldn't be taking that risk.
Not be expecting you to do that with your baby, but
we can show you how to do
it. We can show you as an adult.
Just to go to the extreme to say they really are safe.
It's like any other aspect, isn't it, of parenting? Of course there are risks, and you weigh up risks against benefits, and you cancel out as many of the risks as you can, which is one of the biggest reasons we're here, isn't it?
Educating people into the safety of it, and to where there was, you probably even see people walking down the road thinking, that doesn't look right, So our biggest ethos is to, bring it to everybody, and we just throw safety down everybody's necks constantly, It's our main thing would be to say, that's our main ethos really with the slings, isn't it? To make sure everybody's carrying safely. And also empowering people to be able to carry safely. To be able to say to grandmother who's saying, you're not doing that right. I am. And I feel confident that I am. And I think, your instinct as a mother as well, and a father, but mainly I think as a mum, is massive. And we'll say, quite often if it isn't right, you find subconsciously you put your hand somewhere.
Yeah.
And you need to listen to yourself. Think, okay, why am I putting my hand there? Oh, because it's a bit looser across the top of your back or things like that, and listen to yourself. So,
yeah, brilliant, thank you. So, moving on to what you're going to say, how can we keep them safe in their slings?
Yeah, so there's two kind of main guidelines that are circulating in the UK at least, and we can't take credit for Tick's checklist. It was made by the Sling Consortium years and years ago, so it has been around, and it's simply putting words to people's instincts, isn't it? Like Rachel was just saying. So the first point of that is tightness, and there's some nice tips we can give people to work out how tight is too tight, how tight, So one of the things that we'll say to people is, if you hold your baby's head to your chest and support it with your hand, and then bend over with your knees nice and soft, so you're not going to strain your hamstrings. Your baby's body shouldn't really be moving away from your body significantly at all, and that would be a nice test for tightness. That your baby is in sight, so when you look down you see your baby's mouth and nose easily. They're close enough to kiss. So when you bend your head easily, you can kiss the top of their head, and then you're keeping their chin off their chest. So the test for that is that you'll be able to get 2 fingers between the bone of their chin and the bone of their chest at any point. And then lastly, that they've got a nice supported spine. So Tick's is really good for just putting words to people's instincts, basically. Tight, insight, close enough to kiss, keeping their chin off their chest, and supported spine. And then the other one that some people use is ABC, isn't it?
yeah, it's a quick one. If people look a bit flummoxed by Tick's,
Yeah.
just go for ABC. So quick check when you put them on, just go ABC, airways,
Baby's positioning,
and
comfort.
Yes.
So to make sure
Shorter version,
because the chin off the chest has a lot to do with the positioning of the pelvis,
of course,
and the legs and things like that. So that will make a massive difference.
And we give people, we either link people to that online, or we give people physical bits of paper with that on, and then it is
take it away.
and they can just go through that checklist with it.
We'll put that on our write-up
Yes.
anyway.
That would be brilliant.
So, we did see that before.
Yeah,
So
we literally have it on everything. Most people will come and get at least 1 or 2 of those.
Yeah.
And then it will be on any instructions, so they get manufacturer's instructions as well. So it is, we do try and get out there.
I bet you guys have seen thousands of parents, haven't you?
Over the years,
spreading all that. Good safety information and everything.
Definitely. Thank you for that.
Oh yes, now we're going on to the myths. So moving on, our lovely Instagram followers have got involved as always. We've asked you guys some baby carrier myths on our Instagram poll, and just to see how clued up they all are really. And so we're going to let Sophie and Rachel shed some light on the answers. So,
to be fair, everyone was quite good on this. So, but we went for baby carriers will cause back pain. This is probably the biggest percentage gap that we've got. But 19% said true and 81% said false. But I thought it'd be interesting because that is one of the things that I've heard is that it causes
they won't
pain.
Well, if they're not put on properly, they probably could cause back pain. They could exacerbate existing back pain if they're not worn correctly. So again, all the ticks means that you're comfortable too. So if your baby's on tight, you're not having any pressure, it will distribute the weight better. We have other tricks and tips basically for people that do have back problems. They'll tell us where, maybe they're in a car accident or they've got disc problems, and so we always ask that question when somebody comes in: is there any medical condition you think we need to know about? And just sometimes wearing a sling that crosses at your back rather than...
That's why it's great to come and see you guys, especially if you've got like back pain.
Definitely,
which one should I
And
wear?
sometimes it takes a couple of different carriers to go through till somebody's found the one that actually doesn't hurt at all.
How many of you guys got different carriers? Overall.
Too many.
Too many.
We try to keep up with all the newer ones that come out, but obviously we can't have it. We're in a tiny little social enterprise.
Yes,
we do have.
Try not to have
Carry
too many.
too
We have a scheme as well, if there is a carrier out there and people want to try it, but we don't have it in, that they can try it risk-free with us, basically,
Yes,
so that they're not having to buy it and then go, well, I hate the sling now and I'm stuck with it.
Yeah,
So we
of course.
do have that option, so we would never, ever sort of sell somebody a sling that they hated. Or
No.
we would
weren't
discourage
sure.
anybody from just buying it straight. It's like buying a pair of shoes. I always
Yeah.
say it's like buying a pair of shoes in the shop. You try them on and go, oh, they're lovely. And then you get home and you go, oh, they kill.
Yes.
And the same thing with the sling,
Yeah.
absolutely the same thing. You're standing still in a cafe going, oh, it's fine.
Yeah.
Sit down, yeah, it's fine. They
But
just
you've
really,
got to try it,
yeah.
haven't
You
you?
go for a
Mm.
walk and you go, oh. So we tend
Yeah.
to say,
Starting to get
hire it,
niggly.
and then come back and tell us everything you do or don't like about it.
Yeah.
Where there's a twinge, where there's a pain. And it could be just a case of waistband is too wide, there is a waistband, there isn't a waistband, there's loads of things, but it won't cause back pain as such if it's used correctly.
Okay.
So everyone's quite good on that, really.
Baby carriers are only for newborns. Actually, we've got
false.
6% true and 94% false.
Oh, you've got good followers there,
Yeah.
educated
I don't know why I
followers.
want to be wrong.
It's true that we do get people that come along to us and are adamant that they only, will say something like, well, you could use this carrier all the way till they're 3, and they look
Yeah.
absolutely horrified, like, I'm not going to carry my baby at 3, are you crazy? And then actually they find that it's such a great skill to have, and that it's so much easier than a pram at an airport or whatever, that actually they do. So
It's a perfect place for us.
yeah. We've even helped people with 6-year-old kids who've got additional needs. So it's just, no, they're not just for
Definitely not
newborns.
just for newborns.
And then this one we threw out there, but we've got mums and dads can both wear baby carriers. 98% said true, and 2% said false. So I think that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It is pretty obvious, but I think as a society we've got loads of work to do on gender stereotypes, even when we think we're not that stereotyped about things. We are. So over the years I've done consultations where I've walked into somebody's home and, in the back of my head I've thought, oh, there's no way that guy's going to try a lovely sling that's just this length of fabric. He's going to want clips and buckles because, he's really manly and masculine. And then at the end of this consultation, you've got like a Athena poster of this big hunky massive bloke with this tiny newborn in a cloth fabric. So they really are not, and it is about breaking down the role of dads. Because dads are parents, and they can, and I just recently reading a study about the impact of skin to skin between dads and newborns and later relationships, so it can really help dads feel important and know that they are important, and give them that self-confidence that they need when they've just had a baby. So
I think with me, it's like on Instagram, things like that. The dads that I see on there, it's only been recently that I've seen that they're using the carriers a lot more. Like, for example, probably Tom Fletcher, who everybody probably follows. But he was probably the first person that I saw carrying him on the back and everything like that. So I think it's good for them people to be doing that.
Need to see those images, don't we?
Definitely. Yeah, we do try to when people come in and take photos. I think there's still a bit of stigma with men coming to our groups. They get a little bit like, the wife will go, do you want to try them? That's fine. But we do, like, quite often, like, we do have mums come in and go, I'm happy with this one, but my husband's not. And they'll keep coming in and we go, just
bring the husband.
Send him in, it's fine. Like, we're not bullied. Well, we are.
Put it on
We're
now.
more like, you're wearing it wrong.
Oh, that's good though. Well, everyone's pretty clued up on that.
That's good.
Very good.
Kids can wear them, grandparents can wear them, everybody can wear them.
Yeah, we're talking about mum and dad, but grandparents.
Lots of people bring
thought about that.
Their grandparents that may be looking after children, childminders.
Of course,
Especially if they've got like special educational needs, like they're not going to be very mobile or something. So we have lots of different combinations. Adopted parents, foster parents. Lots of people.
Brilliant. So, as always, thank you to our Instagram followers. You were pretty clued up. They are good on our myths. So, thank you to everyone who voted. Yeah, Lucy, you need to do more trickier. And that's all we've got time for today. So, thank you so much, Sophie and Rachel, for coming in to speak to us and for all your advice. And if you want further information, we'll put links.
Safety advice. We'll put it all up.
Brilliant. On our podcast.
We'll also pop anyone that's local that's watching.
Yes.
We'll pop all your details over so that they can come and find you.
Definitely. And you can find all our Baby Dribble content on YouTube and on our website, SweetDreamers.co.uk. So thanks again and bye for now.
Thank you.
Hey guys, really hope you enjoyed this episode of Sweet Dreamers Baby Dribble. If you did, please share and pass it on and let us know what you think.